All right, today we are going to tackle one of the most powerful, most fundamental ideas in all of economics: supply and demand. You can think of them as these invisible forces that are constantly at play, setting the price for literally everything, from your morning coffee to the phone in your hand. And trust me, once you get this, you'll start seeing the hidden logic behind the world in a whole new way.
So let's start with a really simple question to get our heads in the game. Why is it that a scoop of ice cream might cost you $3 one summer and then $4 the next? I mean, is it just random, or is there something bigger going on behind the scenes? Well, the answer lies in this elegant dance between what sellers want to offer and what we, the buyers, are willing to pay.
And look, this isn't just about ice cream, not by a long shot. As the economist Irina Asmunsen puts it, for a lot of people in her field, those are the three magic words: supply, demand, and price. They are the absolute bedrock of how markets work. Understand them, and you're well on your way to thinking like an economist.
Okay, so let's break this down. First up, let's talk about us, the buyers. This is the first half of our story, and it's all about one thing: demand. That's just a fancy word for our desire, our willingness, and, crucially, our ability to actually buy something.
This gets us to a core idea: the law of demand. It's actually pretty intuitive, but it's incredibly powerful. It just says there's an inverse relationship between price and how much people want to buy. As the price of something goes down, we tend to buy more of it. Simple, right? And if you were to draw this out, which economists love to do, you'd get a classic downward-sloping demand curve.
So why does this happen? Well, economists usually point to three big reasons. First, there's the substitution effect. If ice cream gets too expensive, you'll just buy a candy bar instead. You'll substitute. Then there's the income effect. When stuff is on sale, your money feels like it goes further. You have more purchasing power, so you can afford to buy more. And finally, my favorite, the law of diminishing marginal utility. Think about it. That first scoop of ice cream on a hot day? Amazing. The 10th scoop? Not so much. You're only going to buy that 10th scoop if the price drops a lot.
Now, this is a really important point. When only the price changes, we just move up or down along that demand curve we drew. Economists have a specific name for this: a change in quantity demanded. Your fundamental desire for ice cream hasn't changed, just how much you're willing to buy at that particular price.
Okay, but what happens when it's not just the price tag that changes? What if something else happens? That's when the entire curve actually shifts left or right. For instance, say a new study comes out that says ice cream makes you smarter. Suddenly, everyone wants ice cream, right? People's tastes have changed. The whole demand curve shifts to the right. Or if a beach town's population doubles for the summer, you have more consumers, and again, demand shifts right. These are what we call the shifters of demand.
All right, so that's one half of the story, the buyer side. Now let's flip the coin and look at it from the seller's perspective. This is all about supply, or what's actually available for sale.
And you'll see the law of supply is pretty much the mirror image of demand. It says there's a direct relationship between price and the quantity supplied. And why is that? Well, it all comes down to one word: profit. If sellers can get a higher price for their ice cream, you better believe they're going to want to make and sell more of it. This gives us an upward-sloping supply curve.
And hey, sound familiar? Just like we saw with demand, a change in price all by itself just moves us along the existing supply curve. This is called a change in quantity supplied. The ice cream shop's basic situation hasn't changed, just the price they can get for each scoop.
But for the entire supply curve to move, something more fundamental has to change. These are the shifters of supply. For example, what if a company invents a new, super-fast ice cream machine? That's a change in technology. Now, producers can make more ice cream more cheaply. The overall supply increases, and the whole curve shifts to the right.
Okay, so let's pause. We have buyers who want prices as low as possible, and we have sellers who want prices as high as possible. They're basically pulling in opposite directions. So, how in the world does a price ever get set? This is where we bring the two sides together.
Well, this is where the magic happens. On a graph, those two curves, demand and supply, cross at one and only one point, and we call that equilibrium. It is the sweet spot. It's the market-clearing price where the amount that consumers want to buy is exactly the same as the amount producers want to sell. Everything's in balance. It's perfect.
But let's be real. The world isn't always perfect, right? Prices aren't always sitting right at that sweet spot. So what happens when the price is too high or way too low? Well, that's when we get what economists call disequilibrium.
So, what if the price is too high?
Imagine ice cream is $10 a scoop. Producers are going to make a ton of it, but hardly anyone's going to buy it. You get a surplus, piles of melting ice cream. To get rid of it, sellers have no choice but to lower the price. Now flip that around. What if the price is super low, like $1 a scoop? Everyone wants one, but sellers don't want to make much for that price. Now you have a shortage, long lines, and unhappy customers. To get the few scoops available, buyers will start bidding the price up. You see? In both cases, the market naturally pushes the price back toward that equilibrium sweet spot.
And you know, this isn't just some abstract graph in a textbook. This model is like a pair of X-ray goggles for seeing how the real world works. It explains everything from why gas prices go up in the summer to why tickets for a popular concert cost so much.
So here's a little cheat sheet that pulls it all together. These are the 4 basic shifts you can see in a market. For instance, if demand goes up for some reason, both the price and the amount sold are going to go up. But if supply goes up thanks to that new ice cream machine, the price actually goes down but more gets sold. It's a simple, powerful framework. And a little pro tip from economists. When in doubt, just draw it out. It really helps. Okay, but here's a really important reality check. This beautiful, simple model, it has its limits. It really assumes a world of what economists call perfect competition, where you have tons of buyers and tons of sellers all trading identical products. But the real world, as you know, can be a lot messier.
On one end, you have perfect competition, but on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have a monopoly. That's where a single seller controls the entire market for a unique product. They don't have to worry about competitors, so they can basically set the price. And that usually means higher prices and less stuff available for us. Most industries in the real world fall somewhere in between these two extremes.
So the next time you're at the store and you see a price has changed, don't just see a new number. Ask yourself, what shifted? Was it a change in demand because of people's tastes, or was it a change in supply because of some new technology? With the simple but really powerful tools of supply and demand, you can start to decode the invisible forces shaping the economic world all around you.